This is an actual M9 service pistol sitting on an actual U.S. in-service combat parachute. There's the automatic ripcord release right there. I thought it'd be kind of a cooler background as I progress through the review of this mostly excellent M9 service pistol. And this will serve also as my review of its civilian counterpart, the Beretta 92 FS, which is pretty much identical. Now, this is an in-service M9, like I said, and don't ask me with what unit it's in service with or how or what. I won't appreciate those questions, and I just can't answer them, and it won't be fun for me. So just roll with it. You guys have done a great job to this point on that, and I'm able to bring you some cool stuff and probably even cooler stuff in the future. Stay tuned. But as long as we adhere to those rules of engagement, ROE, in other words, we're going to keep pretty much everything anonymous, including myself, then we can roll along and have a great time. So enough of that. Let's talk to the design. This is a design that actually helped change the way the world views semi-automatic pistols. And that was an outgrowth of the service pistol contract and competition that came out of the 1980s. Very controversial, much disputed, but in the end, Beretta maintained its victory, and it was awarded the contract worth millions of dollars, of course, over the course of time. And it soldiered on, so to speak, with most of the military services as the M9 service pistol. There's a lot of good things about this design. There's some things that I just don't dig about it. I'm going to cover those as we progress. Let's get started. Now, like I try to do, and I'm trying to be more consistent on this, is go down my list of things, i.e. talking points, about each handgun. And that's what I'm going to do with the Beretta 92. We're going to talk about weight, firepower, durability, blah, 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 all these things. And since it's a 9mm pistol, it's fair game to compare it against my standard, the Glock 17. Now, there's lots of great pistol designs out there where you say, why'd you choose a Glock 17? Because honestly, in a lot of ways, it leads in these categories. And you can look for a detailed report on those categories by looking at my series reviewing the Glock 17. And same could be said for the Glock 19 as well. And most of the other calibers, we're just talking about designs. But this is an M9 / Model 92, same gun pretty much, except for the stampings more or less. Let's talk about weight first. And this is a kind of a negative way to start out the review, because I will tell you right up front, this gun is entirely too heavy. I should know because I've carried it for many years in my military job, and it freaking sucks. It is a brick, and I don't appreciate it, especially if I have web gear on and other tactical things that I have to carry. It just adds to my loadout, and that is a sentiment echoed by all my buddies too. It's too big, it's too heavy, and it sucks that way. And that brings us, actually let me talk a little bit about the specifics on the weight. The actual weight of a Beretta Model 92 or M9 service pistol is an incredible 34.5 ounces. Okay, and that's a lot of weight. And compare that to a Glock 17 that weighs 24 ounces, a Sig P226, 28.5 ounces, more or less, and the Beretta just loses out in a big way on weight. And again, you guys that say, oh, I don't care about weight. Well, you're talking, this person giving this review, i.e. me, I've been a military member for years now, also in law enforcement, carried guns, always carry guns. Weight is critical. It gives you mobility, gives you speed, and the less weight you carry, the less fatigued you'll be. And so most of the people who say they don't care about weight have no military and or law enforcement experience. That's just the way it is. If you hump gear for a living and you do it for a long enough time, you will quickly learn that the lighter your load is, the happier you're going to be. So that's that. So the weight sucks on the Model 92. I cannot lie. I do not like it. That gets to the size. The size, honestly, for a 9mm pistol is huge. It's way too big. It's bigger than a Sig P226. It's bigger than a Glock 17, and it's just not size efficient, to be honest with you. Size efficient means that it's appropriate for the caliber. I mean, if you want to know what I'm talking about, just look at a Car PM9. That is in the same caliber as a Model 92. Now, granted, the PM9 or the PM polymer-based frames that Car puts out came out a lot later than this design. This is a 1980s design, and I understand that. But guess what? It's still being sold in the civilian market. You can still buy one. It's still soldiering on, again, in the U.S. military. So it's fair game to criticize it against current designs. But it is not size efficient. The PM9, if you look at my video of that, is very size efficient. Now, am I saying that we need to go that small on a service pistol? Should I shrink it? No, heavens no. In fact, there's a lot to be said for a full-size pistol design. In fact, that's what I want to be carrying as a sidearm. I want a full-size design, but I think it's too big, that it's too large, it's too thick around the grip, and I'll get to that in ergonomics. It's just too long overall length. It's big. I think a much more reasonable size is, again, the Glock 17, maybe the Sig P226. Now, does the Sig P226 blow this away in terms of size efficiency? No, the differences are negligible, really. But there are differences. I've held both of those guns side by side, shot both of those guns side by side for many years, and so I have lots of experience to speak to this. I just prefer both Sig and Glocks in that respect, size and weight. Leave it to that. It's just not size efficient. How about firepower? That'll be the next in our talking points. The firepower, the magazine is 15 rounds. You can get different magazines. I believe MechGuard makes some higher capacity magazines for it, and that would put it pretty much on par with a Glock design, which is a 17/19 round magazine if you use a +2 base plate. Glock might have a round or two advantage, but this is exactly similar to a Sig P226 in firepower. So we're going to call the firepower a draw. Where the weight was a clean kill against the Beretta 92 design, the firepower issue, we're going to call it a draw. I think there are extended magazines that will stick out from the butt. I'm not too sure about the reliability of those because they're not factory produced as far as I know. I think there was a subgun version of the Beretta. What was it, the VP70 or something? No, it wasn't VP70. It was a subgun. I'd look it up and tell you. Look in the description if I can find it, I'll tell you. Anyways, those magazines may fit. I think they extend a little bit out, and I think I stand corrected. They were Beretta factory produced, but I'm not really sure how available they are. They're certainly not as available as the Glock 33 rounders are for the Glock. So we'll call firepower a draw. To be fair, it's 15 rounds, one in the pipe. That's 16 rounds. You can go with a MechGuard, excellent magazine, and that will make it probably around 17, 18 rounds with one in the pipe. So on to durability and reliability. This is a very controversial issue, and it's been that way ever since the 1980s, of which design is the most durable. The rumor had it that actually maybe not rumor, but the story goes that the Sig P226 won out on terms of cost against the Model 92, i.e. M9 design, and also that the fatigue cracks in the Sig design showed itself beyond the requirements, but they were still cracking. Now, that is unsubstantiated by me and my years of use of this gun. However, that's why Beretta won the bid, so to speak. So, speaking to the durability on the Beretta design, how durable is it? Very durable. They had some issues initially with slides breaking, and they fixed that in subsequent designs. But overall, the Beretta is a very durable design. How about reliability? Well, I'm going to tell you a little bit about this. I've shot this gun a lot in qualification. I'll show you a target here in a little bit if I remember. And reliability is not to Sig and Glock standards, in my opinion. It just isn't. I've seen several of the M9s jam on the line, either with a stovepipe, failure to feed, failure to cycle. Now, to be fair, a lot of it is related to this, the military contract magazine, which is a phosphate-coated magazine both inside and out. And that's been a problem, especially in desert environments like Afghanistan, Iraq, because when sand gets inside the magazine against that rougher phosphate finish, it tends to bind the follower-up. That also is that the rounds need to rotate in a Beretta 92 mag as they feed up, and they don't do so well when there's a fine grit in there. Now, are Sig and Glock designs this way? Not that I know of. And as far as I know, they don't have that problem and haven't had it. So that is definitely a reliability issue with the Beretta 92 design. That's part one. Tune in. Here comes part two of the M9 Model 92 review, Nutnfancy.